Okay, so it's Feb 29, leap year, and I wanted to do something different. I mean, not different, but I just wanted to do the usual, but with much more zeal because an extra day has been granted to us. And you've got to be very grateful. You've just woken up without any ailments, without any pain anywhere. Because you know, when you wake up with some like a headache or a stomach ache, or a toothache, God, those are the worst. All you want is that that goes away. You want nothing more. So health over everything. And I thought I'd wake up and record my morning routine. I want to show you what a 29-year-old does in a sleepy little town with his life, because you've got to make the most of yourself. You've got to chase goals and be always arriving at them. If you waste your potential, nothing is worse than that. So, what does a 29-year-old do who was a former lawyer? I don't want to say former lawyer because law is something that I really, really enjoy. So, who knows, maybe I'll get into it again. But that said, the first light has hit. So, I like to go on the weather app and see when the sun is rising and when it's setting. And actually, you want to wake up a bit before the sun. That's just the goal. So if you notice, today first light was at 6:20. Naturally, my alarm was set for 6 o'clock and sunrise is at 6:45. As I'm recording this, it's 6:36. So we're in the month of March almost. 6:26 is going to be the sunrise, and April 5:50 is going to be the sunrise, and May 5:24 a.m. is going to be the sunrise, and June it's 5:16 a.m. and after that it's just upwards from there. So June is 5:16 a.m. The sun is going to be up at 5:16. I think first light is going to be there at 5:16. So you've got to wake up pretty early, and usually I like my mornings damn slow. I want to just get up, have a cup of tea, which my father very kindly fixed for me. He makes amazing teas. You know, like a separate tea, he'll put a bit of shakkar in the mug and then add a bit of milk, just a bit, because we don't like proper milk in our cha. And then he'll add the patti. I think, yeah, he'll place like patti in the strainer and then pour water from top. So doesn't give you acidity or anything. It's beautiful. That said, the plan is I will visualize after this. I will visualize and then start my day. So how I'm going to visualize is, let's talk about that. I'm going to forget the failures of the past. I had a lot of regrets piled up within me. You know, I would go with my friends to school, back to school, to visit it. And I talked to one of them. He was my roommate in the last year when you can get separate rooms. And I was just discussing with him, man, you know, I could have done so much more. I have these massive regrets. I was really being vulnerable. And he said, you've got to move on. We had a great time. I mean, he said the most beautiful things. But now I've realized that there's no need rationalizing your regrets or your failures of the past. Gabba's eating like leaves back there. There's no need rationalizing your failures or regrets of the past. Don't try to go into the nitty-gritties, the details of it. So if the regret of your past, if the failure of the past is like a rope and has several strands in it, please don't try to undo each strand and figure out where I could have gone right and what I did wrong and oh man, I wish things were different. All of this is going to be such a massive mental exercise. It's going to leave most of us exhausted and the purpose will not be served. Therefore, if this rope exists, it is best through means of visualization to absolutely forget it and focus on the successes. Morning, na chai pi li humne. Let's take my example. I'm like being very vulnerable here. If I think I could have done so much more, if I was lazy, I wasn't focused, I would take up a project, anything, and then leave it midway, then I must learn to forgive myself. I must think of that child and I forgive that child. I'm not trying to rationalize why he did what he did, where he came from, what he could have done with himself. Nothing. The point is that child is forgiven. We are starting with a clean slate today onwards. We are focusing on the good times that child went through. This sort of mental exercise is going to seem rather stupid to you. You're going to find it uncomfortable to do, but it could be potentially life-changing. I want you to try it. Just don't focus on the failures of the past because enough of it. You've lived in the past enough. I read this in The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, that you can use the past either as a weapon to bludgeon yourself and your loved ones, or you can use it as a tool to now build yourself. And I think I'm done using it as a weapon. I'm sure you're done using it as a weapon, because deep down it hurts. It hurts everyone around you, and that hurts you even more. And there's tons of regret. Enough of that. We're going to use it as a tool to carve ourselves. How I use my past as a tool is, man, you're a lazy guy back in the day. Therefore, I'm going to do anything to not be lazy. I'm going to use any resources at my disposal to find out how I can develop the tools and become a more efficient person, a person that I'm just proud of, because that is the goal. The goal is to go to bed almost every night and think, you did your job today. You fulfilled your purpose. You went towards your goal. And I think that sets in this cycle of virtue, because you're happier and you're just far more content. So no thinking about the past. Let it be. Let us absolutely forget it. I'm not saying bury it, because if you bury it somewhere, it's going to come back in nastier forms perhaps. Just forget about it. And that's where visualization has really helped me. I've been thinking about the successes of the past, like really small successes. As a child, to go to a boarding school, you crack an exam, right? I mean, okay, fine, not a big deal, but okay, I cracked it. I would have worked hard for sure, went for an interview. Before I entered the office where I was going to give the interview, I was absolutely shaking. I was all nerves. But as soon as I sat down, I calmed down. I went through with the interview. It was very smooth. I did it. I should congratulate myself for that. So far, I haven't congratulated myself for the successes. We always shrug the successes aside. Oh, ho gaya, Rab di mehr, and all of that. Of course, Rab di mehr hegi hai. But we need to realize that our successes need to be highlighted. We haven't been much for celebrating birthdays. When I hit 100K on Instagram, we didn't really celebrate it. But the point is, you must highlight those successes and try to forget the failures, because the failures aren't going anywhere in the future. The regrets aren't going anywhere. So each time you trip, please take that as feedback. When the market sort of knocks you down, when it gives you a loss, try to not think of it as a loss. Oh man, I got shaken out. How am I now making money? Everyone seems to be making money. What am I doing wrong? I don't want you to think of all that. Instead, I want you to think, what is this trade teaching me? What feedback can I gather from it? Was my strategy wrong? Perhaps not. The market was just unhealthy. So you don't need to blame yourself all the time. Be objective about the feedback the market or life is presenting you with. For example, if you're getting a lot of fat on your stomach, that is feedback. That is feedback from your body and from how things work, that perhaps you are consuming more calories and moving lesser. That is feedback. Instead of absolutely fretting about the fat you've got on your stomach, you need to think, what can I do about it? How can I reverse this? Because if it's come all this way, I certainly can reverse it. It took time to gain all this fat. Therefore, it might take time to reverse it. Of course, you don't want to go for cheat or fat diets, so many out there. And they work. They will get you rid of fat, but they don't go to the root cause. They don't really fix your lifestyle and your habits, and then you're not going to go make sustainable changes. With that said, this is my morning routine. I actually feel nice talking about visualization on camera, because I somehow went into the past and I'm like, whatever happened, happened. Now we focus on the future. So back to my morning routine. I've had a cup of tea. I'm going to go say hi to my parents, because my mom just came back from her Paath. She does the Prakash every day. And she wakes up at Amrit Vela and showers, and which is something I aspire to do someday. But I've really got to sleep on time. After this, I'm going to take Gabba for a walk, because Gabba's eyeing me. Even now, he's staring at me like, bro, what are you doing? We need to be walking. He's a fitness enthusiast. After the walk, I'm going to come back and shower and then do my part. So I've been doing Japji Sahib. I'm reading the translation for the longest time. I didn't want to just read Gurmukhi. I'm not understanding a bit. I don't know what these scriptures say. I'm just rote learning and reading them. I'm like, what's the point, right? I mean, excuse my language. I don't want to offend any of my Sikh brothers and sisters out here, but what is the point? I wanted to deeply understand. Now that I'm reading the translation, which I was very kindly gifted, by the way, by Manmeet in Gurgaon, it's beautiful how people come into your life, because I know I wanted to start my Paath journey, and then I somehow chanced upon Manmeet in Gurgaon. I met her husband. She runs a community library in Gurgaon. I went to their house. I had a cup of cha with her husband, with her family. What a beautiful time. So while I'm leaving, she's like, Karan, take any book. You know, it's a library. Take it, bring it back whenever. And I'm like, okay, let me think about this. So I'm like checking out a lot of books. I don't know what I want to pick up. Of course, I'm going towards gravitating towards self-help and trading. And then she gives me like 10, 12 books and she's like, these are all on Sikhi. See if you like something. And I chance upon the translation. And I'm like, I think this is something I can use. So I was so excited to get into it that while driving back, I had a driver. So while I was being driven back, I just went through the book. So it starts with like this whole commentary on Nitnem, on Sikhi, on Mool Mantar, and then it starts with the literal translation. So you have a Punjabi Gurmukhi script, you have Hindi, you have English, and then you have English translation, but not only the translation, but a commentary wherever it's needed. Of course, now on your screen, you can see how the book looks and how a random page looks of the book. You can see it on your screen. Okay, with that said, I'm going to do my part. So anyway, thank you to Manmeet. With that said, with my part done, I'm going to look at stocks because the market would have opened. I have a few positions running. Everything seems comfortable. Yesterday, the market sold off, but nothing to worry about. And then I'm going to have my breakfast. And then, of course, I'm going to sit back in the markets, maybe get on a few consultation calls, see if anything else is looking interesting. I mean, all of that exercise. And there we'll end the day. So that's my morning routine. And I hope you enjoy seeing this. And of course, you want to subscribe because I can be very random with my YouTube videos. You might see a morning routine. You might see me making a smoothie. You might see me, I don't know, chilling, talking about things, about life. You'll see me talking about stocks, how to get started with trading. I've got to record my second video on the course of technical analysis. So of course, you'll see all of that. So make sure you subscribe, like this video, leave a lovely comment, and let's proceed. Now I'm going to go say hi to my parents, and then we'll leave for the walk. Vamos. Now ready to go for the walk. And the sun is just coming up the horizon, something very beautiful about it. So I'm trying to get some morning light in my eyes. There's some obstruction. Yeah, let me find a sweet spot to get morning light in my eyes because this is very important. And you want to get morning light in your eyes without glasses. Why? What's the science behind it? I am unaware. But I have found that if you are getting morning light in your eyes, you just have better energy levels. And this sort of like, I'm staring right into the sun and it doesn't hurt my eyes at all. The best morning light would be when it's coming just off the horizon, but no problem. This light is very beautiful as well, and it's actually the best filter. You take a selfie with the morning light on your face, you're gonna look far better than what you look otherwise. I'm just waiting for Oika's harness. So good. And this is last of the winter sun. Want to enjoy it as much as I can. Wow, so grateful. Oichika's up from the sunroof at all hours. And Gabba's out the window. So we've come for a walk. But there is so much trash out here. I don't know if you can see it, but so much trash. It's rather unfortunate. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start carrying a bag with me and carry a garbage bag and then basically come for the walk and leave with trash. Is it going to make a difference? Slightly. But I think I'm going to start doing that because I am not okay with people trashing public places like this. I mean, it sort of hurts me deeply to see what people are doing to anything beautiful that we have left in the city. Not okay with that. I'm going to start collecting trash. I think I'm going to carry one bag. Manisha's going to carry one bag and we're going to do that. The plan for this walk is to be 4 kilometers long. And that actually tells me I just want to ensure I turn up for what I said I'd turn up. I don't know if that made sense. But the point is, my job is to just come for the walk every day. Maybe it's a 4 kilometers some days, it's a 3 kilometers some days it's a 2. But the point is, I showed up and that is victorious of me to do so. Therefore, don't put performance pressure on yourselves and just show up. Yeah, now I'm gonna walk and catch you later. And the best part about this walk is that it's more of a jog. Gabba loves jogging. Oika's gotten slightly fitter. So basically, this is like zone 2 cardio throughout. And zone 2 cardio is the best cardio for fat loss. Imagine if you do this daily, 365 days. That's insane, right? I mean, actually, I don't turn up daily. Also, one other thing about the morning walk. Some days, I want to work out at home. I want to work out in the garden. But I'm like, man, these guys are waiting for me, you know. Gabba comes and looks up at me, and I know Oika needs his fitness. I'm like, I gotta go for a walk. So strength training is for the evenings and a morning walk for the mornings. Chalo. But what a nice jog. This is intense 4 kilometers. Love it. Post walk, I'm having another cup of tea. I know it's whatever. Another cup of tea, some soaked almonds, and a homemade oats banana walnut bread. Really non-greasy, non-sweet, beautiful stuff. Thodi cha pee ke assi nahange and then start the day. These are the little joys of life. I don't want to deprive myself of them. Okay, so now excuse the mess in the restroom, but a very important aspect of the morning routine is now a cold shower. A lot of people have asked me, dude, don't you get sick bathing with cold water in the winters? No, certainly no. If anything, I think it might boost my immunity. Secondly, why do I do it? Just to train my mind to do hard things, because I've been taking a cold shower I took it in all of Jan, a bit of December. I don't know, whenever I started phase 1, I think it might be 60 days, 70 days that I've been taking a cold shower. Each time I've got to get into the shower, my mind and my body resist the idea of it. So that goes to say that it might never get easier, but I've got to get it done nonetheless. And this is going to have a trickle down effect onto other aspects of life. I've realized whenever I talk about these things, I sound so repetitive, but that's the whole point. You need excessive repetition to drill an idea deep into your psyche so that you start making changes. So I take a cold shower so that next time I have to wake up in the morning and I don't want to wake up and I don't have the inclination, I can properly wake up. So that way a cold shower really helps. You're going to see how stocks are opening, and once they've opened up, we are going to do our Japji Saab part. But before that, I'm going to do a progress update, because why not? Let us go. All right, with that progress update, we're going to get into a shower. Will our body challenge us before going into the shower? Absolutely. My body's going to be like, dude, get comfortable. Switch the geyser on. The geyser hasn't been on for months now. And my mind's going to be like, bro, being soft is better. But then that battle I am going to win. Let us go get into the shower now. Okay, so the market's opened. I'm actually still sitting in my boxers, but that's okay. We're ready in time. The market hasn't opened very nicely. Not too promising. Pretty much all my positions are down. My position in ICICI GI is down 2.5%. Nothing to worry about, of course. And now that the market's fine, my sell alerts and my buy alerts are all punched into the software. Everything looks good. Let's quickly do part and then sit down for breakfast. Now I'm gonna do my part. And this is the Japji Sahib book by G.S. Randhawa. It's got a translation which works perfectly for me. It starts with a commentary, as I mentioned earlier. And then when I get to the part, so what it does is it has everything written in Gurmukhi. I don't know if you can see it, but it has everything written in Gurmukhi, English, and then Hindi, and finally has an English translation and then a commentary. So beautiful, gives you a bunch of stuff to read and to totally deeply understand what the scripture is trying to say and what it intends. So that's how I go about it. And now I'm gonna get into it, and with breakfast we shall end the morning routine. So I've sat down for breakfast and it's really good. We've got this platter of broccoli, some chicken, mushroom, beans, carrots, and egg. Whoop. I don't know if you guys can see it properly. And then we have oats, chila, and aloo ki sabzi. Yeah, aloo ki hai na? Yeah, pretty nutritious stuff, man. I'm just gonna give you a look properly. That is the platter, which is looking so good. And oats, chila, and aloo ki sabzi. Asi apni maa da tanwad karte hain. Such a beautiful platter. And yeah, gonna enjoy that. It's 10 in the morning, sun is shining. And after this, we are going to get to work properly, some deep work. And this is an ABC, an apple, beetroot, carrot juice, which is my favorite for winters. So I hope you enjoyed my morning routine. It's nothing special, but yeah, there's magic in the ordinary when done consistently and over again. Don't forget to leave your thoughts below and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you another time.